It's Blissen Up. I'm your host, Rachel Lang, intuitive astrologer. Get starstruck with inspiring guests and engaging conversations. Blissen Up starts now. Hi, hello, and welcome. You are watching and listening to Blissen Up, and I'm your host, Rachel Lang. And it is that time of year again. Actually, one of my favorite times of year, being the romantic Libra with the Taurus rising that I am. When we see hearts all around us. We go to the grocery store. Anywhere we go, we're seeing signs that bring us back into our hearts and that connect us with love. It's Valentine's Day, and today is the start of Valentine's Day weekend. So, what can you expect this weekend? What is your romance forecast? We're going to talk about that today in our Starstruck segment. I have actually put together a Valentine's Day forecast for each sign, so you'll be able to hear what your Valentine's Day is going to bring. Also, because this is a time when we really center on our hearts and we really focus on love, we're also going to be talking today about love and compatibility. And specifically, how can astrology help your love life? So we'll talk about that today and more. I am in studio today with, as always, the amazing and talented and handsome and single John Williams.
Well, thank you for putting that out there, honey.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, honey.
I'm gonna hopefully it's Blissen Up. Our show is Blissen Up,
All
and
right.
it really fosters a sense of happiness and joy, and it's about finding your purpose. And so if I can promote. I can promote you and your love life and your romantic possibilities
or
on the show.
Or then they go, you're right. Possibilities. I'll be open to that.
Then yeah.
Yes.
Then I'm going to do anything that I can.
Well, thank you, sweetheart.
So, it's interesting. We focus so much on love in this show, and we've had episodes about twin flames and soulmates and romance and compatibility, and it's a big theme. I think because when we're in a relationship, it really fosters so much spiritual growth. We do our really big work whenever we draw in a partner, and at the same time, when we have a period of time where we're not in a relationship, a romantic relationship, so much of our focus becomes about going down and doing that deep soul level work on our own, and then opening up, and so I find that a lot of times in the work that I do, that I see these cycles that open us up, and cycles that bring us inward. So we're kind of in this process of going out and coming back in, returning to ourselves, and so love, love is a really love has the function in our lives of connecting us spiritually. Mm-hmm. Don't you think so?
Yes,
Don't
I
you
do.
think so?
For sure.
So do you have Valentine's Day plans?
Nope.
No? Not even connected with friends or?
No, I mean, we'll see. Just play it by ear, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no dates. Nothing planned.
Well, we will have to look at that. We'll have to explore that after our show.
What do you think with all these planets that are visible right now? Do you think that's impacting us in that way?
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
Because whenever a planet, a heavenly body is visible, and we can see it referenced in the sky, it's almost as if that it's shining a little bit brighter in our lives. So whatever that influence is, it's really visible for us. So we're in a time right now, and I've experienced this in my practice a lot, and I've experienced this in friendships and even in my own personal life, where we're in a period of time where so much is surfacing for us. So many people are going through major shifts and major changes, and we talked about that a little bit in terms of numerology, in terms of it being a 9-year, and everything kind of shifting, kind of moving out of the way, cycles ending, completion cycles, and people are experiencing a lot of that kind of chaos, meaning chaos just meaning big shifts, big tremendous changes, tremendous shifts, and we're seeing this across the board.
A lot of it having to do with fear of letting go, right?
Absolutely.
And moving into the unknown.
Yeah, but that's kind of the conclusion of the Uranus-Pluto square that we've had going on since 2012, and March through the summer we're going to have a lot of mutable squares. So it's like we've kind of broken down some of our constructs.
Yeah.
And over the last few years, and we're in a period where things are going to be changing pretty fast and unpredictable, and so I think we're all feeling
like this
that.
Weather,
like the weather. Yes, not only here but in other parts of the world.
I know. I think it was like fast forwarded into summer already.
Definitely. So so these are exciting times.
Yeah.
Exciting. And speaking of exciting times, this week we have quite a number of exciting influences. So, what do you think?
You think it's time to get starstruck?
I think it's time to get started. Time to get starstruck.
And look at where you're at now. Speaking of heavenly bodies, being visible.
This reminds I love it when you're I feel like when you're an astrologer and you do this kind of work, it's deeply serious and it's deeply personal, but you can also have fun with it. So thank you for helping me have fun with it, John.
Oh, my pleasure.
For transitioning us into the cosmos.
Yes.
So, Starstruck is the segment of our show where we talk about astrologically what's happening this week so that you can make the most of each day. And we start, and I love my background. I'm so excited. I feel like I should have a space helmet or something. So like I said, in this segment, today's segment is going to be a little bit special. I'm going to go sign by sign and give you your own personalized Valentine's Day forecast. So, but first, we start the weekend today with a little bit of intensity. The moon is forming a square with Pluto and joining up and forming a conjunction with Uranus, the planet of unpredictability. And so the moon is our emotional center. It's how are we feeling? Well, we're not really feeling completely sure, completely steady. We're not really feeling like we have a lot of grounding or footing. Things feel like they're in flux. This isn't a day where you're going to feel good about your relationship or feel like you have any certainty moving forward. And so it's a day to take that leap of faith, to take steps and trust that the ground is going to form beneath you. There's a lot of tension that's evident with this influence. And some sensitivity, some emotional sensitivity that's kind of rising up from the surface as we adjust to the sense of uncertainty. It's a day where we're standing in between the past and the future and trying to really anchor ourselves in the present, but the present doesn't feel comfortable because things are in flux and things are in motion like we were just talking about. Our cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra, you're going to be especially sensitive to this influence. We're all of us, cardinal, mutable, fixed, all of us are going to be feeling a little bit restless as emotions from the past really surface up to the center. And so if you have a Valentine's Day getaway planned and you're planning on just escaping town for the weekend, this is perhaps the best thing that you can do under this influence. Otherwise, keep it really low-key tonight. Spend some time at home, drinking wine, watching romantic movies, getting into that emotional space and really feeling a sense of yourself, really feeling connected to your emotions. This is also a day for nurturing one another and for being intimate. Even though that moon's in Aries, kind of making us want to act and move and giving us some restlessness, acting impulsively isn't always necessarily the best thing to do at this time. Then on Saturday, the moon enters luxurious and sensual Taurus, and so our energy shifts. And it's a perfect day for celebrating Valentine's Day, maybe even a little bit early, taking your special someone on a date. We're craving delicious food and warm baths and roses and incense and candles and all of those sensual things, anything that opens us up. There's another influence that's happening in addition to this that offers us a little bit of a contrast. Mercury, the planet of communication, thoughts, ideas, is moving into an air sign, into Aquarius. And so we've got all of this mental activity happening, and all of these like new thoughts and new insights and creativity. And our minds are expanding. And so there's kind of a contrast that's represented today on Saturday between the Taurus, very earthy, practical, and sensual, and Aquarius, the mental and cerebral. And so the thing that connects the mind and the body is our heart, our spirit, and so anything that you can do to engage that part of you can connect these two seemingly disparate energies. And so for some of you that means dancing, that means moving, like actually feeling a sense of your own bodies. For some of you that could mean sex. Good for you. Whatever you do to connect your body to the earth, that's what you're going to want to have focused. If you're single, this is time to get out of your comfort zone and experience something new, John. It's a highly, highly romantic night. And if you're in a relationship, then it's a great date night, so celebrating Valentine's Day all week long. And that leads us into Sunday. Do you have something that you're doing? You're smiling back there. He's getting ready to do something.
No. I'm just listening.
Okay. I feel like he has a graphic or a sound effect or something that he's playing with back there. He's got like mischievous little Gemini energy. All right. Sunday. Your Valentine's Day forecast, sign by sign.
Woohoo!
Aries. We'll start with Aries. You're the first sign. Passion features prominently in your Valentine's Day chart. If you're single, this is a great time to connect with other friends for a celebration of love. Friendship is also really heightened on this day. And so for those of you who are in relationships, you'll definitely you might want to connect with a group of friends. You and your special someone connect with friends and then sneak away back home afterward or to some private destination afterward. For those of you who are single, really make Valentine's Day Friends Day. Enjoy spending some time with people, really connecting. You never know, there might be someone that you could meet when you're out and about. Taurus, sensuality is your key word for the day. With your ruling planet Venus in complementary Capricorn, a fellow Earth sign, and the moon in your sign, your body is like one great big nerve ending. Your nervous system is attuned to all sensations, all physical sensations. So if you are in a relationship, I cannot stress enough how romantic and delicious this night is for you and this whole day. It's also a deeply healing day when you can really open up your hearts through that connection. If you are single, I encourage you to kind of step out of your comfort zone. Maybe go to some kind of a singles activity or some kind of a club. Get out and about, because you never know when that soulmate twin flame relationship's going to come into your life. Right, John?
Yeah.
And this is the vision I'm going to offer you, Taurus, because you really do have the best of Valentine's Day, I think. So think of yourselves as Venus emerging from the half shell, like just luscious and beautiful. And if you're a man, visualize yourself as one of those Egyptian, kind of pharaohs being fed grapes and fanned. That's you. Gemini, this is a day for deep emotional connections, and you're craving that on this day. So long conversations with your special someone, talking about the future, dreaming. You might even get a proposal of some sort if you take your relationship to the next level. And if you're single, this is a time to be getting out your vision board. Use your imagination. Imagination offers us a preview of what we can manifest in our lives. So, do you want a relationship? What do you want in a relationship? Really get centered and focus on that. This is a highly creative time for you. Cancer. Now, Cancers, this is fun. I love these. Cancer, you might not want to leave the bedroom this weekend. I'm just saying. If you're single because you're going to be in the bedroom with the covers over your head thinking about how much you really want to connect with someone. If you're in a relationship, you start out with breakfast in bed and then the whole day kind of continues from there. And so what you do is up to your imagination. If you're single and looking for love, I recommend that you go online, that you find a date, that you find someone to connect with, even if it's not a deep romantic soulmate connection. It could be a new friend or someone who plays a significant role in your life. Open yourself up to the possibility that you could be in a wonderful relationship, one that really supports you, because it's possible for you. I have 2 Cancer friends that I'm thinking about right now, and I'm not going to say any names, but you know who you are. It's time to open your heart. Don't think about the future. Just stay in the present and stay connected to what you need right now. For those of you in relationships, Mars is in Scorpio. I don't think I need to say anything more. That's hot. That's hot. Very hot. Leo. Now, Leo, you're a little bit curious about love right now. If you're single, Valentine's Day might feel like just another day. So we want to keep from from any sense of disappointment or any sense of sadness or feeling of aloneness. And so if you start feeling sad or reminiscent or nostalgic or linked into the past, turn things around. Get out and about. You might also consider taking this day to make a new start in terms of relationships. Set the intention for doing relationships in a way that you've never done them before. And so you might want to get a book about relationships, like Calling in the One, for example, with one of our former guests, because healing is really heightened under the influences of this day for you. And if you're in a relationship, take a step forward, make the moves. Don't wait for someone to come to you. Disappointment often happens when you don't ask for what you want and expect your partner to read your mind. So this is a day where if you want to be pampered or you want to be spoiled, ask for it and insist on it. Virgo, your Valentine's Day forecast is quite romantic. You have the moon in a favorable sign and Venus also in a favorable sign. Our Earth signs are going to have the best Valentine's Day. So if you're single, today is a day for making great connections. You might even reconnect with people from your past, friends or lovers. And so take yourself out on a date. Do something different. The embodiment of love really opens you up to the possibility that love can come into your life. And so love, turn that love into yourself. Treat yourself like the queen or king that you are. And then you'll start opening your heart and opening romantic possibilities. If you're involved in a relationship, you're going to want to either read poetry or write poetry or somehow express yourself in words. Words are heightened for you at this time. And this is also a very sensual day for you. So music, delicious food, incense, those kinds of things, candles. These are all things that you want to have surrounding your environment. Libra, with Mercury moving into Aquarius this weekend, you've got a lot of creativity, a lot of insight, and this is a time of fun and spontaneity. It's a time of playfulness. If you're single, change up your routine a little bit. Go to a different coffee shop, check out a new restaurant, go to a different grocery store. You never know when love is going to just strike, when love is going to find you. And it's fun to change things up. It's fun. It gives the universe more opportunities for us to connect with new people and to get out of our comfort zone. Also, you might want to find a cool used bookstore and just connect with some like-minded individuals. If you are in a relationship, adventure is your key word. Focus less on the future and more on the moment. Scorpio, your Valentine's Day is smoky hot.
Oh.
Yes. Scorpio, Mars, the passion planet, is in your sign. So you've got all the ingredients for really deep, intimate connections. And so if you're single, go out and take a risk. Put yourself out there. Communicate what you feel. You might also, if you're single, just like want to spend some time at home by yourself, watching movies, drinking wine, feeling that sense of romance and sense of possibility, again, like Cancers. If you're involved in a relationship, this is a deeply healing time for you to open up in new ways. And so don't let minor disagreements or power struggles or anything like that get in the way from you really connecting with your special someone. So focus on the positive. Sagittarius, if you're single, you might be proceeding with this day just like it's any other day. Your insights are so brilliant. You've got all kinds of new ideas. You're wanting to go out there and make things happen. You're kind of really focused on your career and on yourself right now. And so that's great. Take advantage of that energy and really focus on that. If you're in a relationship, communication is highly emphasized for you. And so focus on how to make your relationship better by articulating your ideas, by communicating your truth. And so if you need a starting point, I recommend that you sit with your special someone and say, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways, and then proceed from there. Capricorn, Venus, the sign of love and affection, the planet of love and affection, is in your sign. So this is a highly, highly favorable influence for you and for your love life, and for other earth signs. So get out one of those little apps if you're single and start swiping and see who you connect with, because there's a lot of like romantic possibility whenever Venus is in your sign. Then, a spontaneous date could be in your future. If you're in a relationship, pleasure is your key word, so really focus on that. Aquarius, I foresee interesting conversations for you this Valentine's Day. You are the star of the day. Mercury, the sign of communication, planet of communication, is in your sign. The sun is also in your sign. And so there's a lot of light being shown on you. And so this is a day to really, to spend some time with your special someone, really dreaming about the future, imagining, and talking about things that maybe you've been holding back. Also, it's very creative, so writing, dancing, sculpting, whatever you do to kind of engage in that creative energy, it's a day to do that. If you're in a relationship, resist any urge that you have to stubbornly stick to things that you want to do, because your partner might be wanting to surprise you, but if you're getting stuck in any way, then you might be missing an opportunity. And Pisces, our last one. This is John. Your day of love, John, and Pisces friends, it's filled with beauty and inspiration. If you're single, channel all of your passion and all of your eros into your creative ideas. Fill yourself with love, connecting to your heart chakra. There's big healing available for you on this day, and so you taking some time to go deep into your heart helps you to make that happen and make that possible for yourself. If you're in a relationship, take big risks. Go ahead and ask those questions. You know the ones. Like, do you want to move in with me? Do you want to marry me? Where is this going? Do you like me? When you take those big risks, you open yourself up. And even if you don't always get the answers that you want, the process of opening expands your capacity to hold space for love in your life. And so, what happens when you do that, when you take those big risks, is that you grow in courage and you expand the boundaries of yourself. And when that happens, then you open yourself up to releasing and letting go of the limits that you might have placed in your life that keep you away from relationships and keep you out of love. So this is a time to be letting go and releasing those. So that's Valentine's Day. Now the rest of the week, I'll just keep it really short. Monday, the moon's in Gemini. The tone changes to one of chatty conversations and mental acuity and thoughts and ideas. And so the morning is great for focusing on tasks and getting the job done, especially for our air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and also our fire signs, Aries and Leo. Tuesday's best for socializing. for taking time out to be with friends. You might not necessarily get everything that you want to get done because people will be in and out talking, and you're, maybe distracting you. It's also a great day to be engaging in any kind of volunteer work or social activities. And if you're a parent, getting your kids involved in this, I think, could really be a good thing. Then on Wednesday, the moon shifts into Cancer, and we all kind of turn inward and focus on our emotions. So we have a need when the moon's in Cancer for safety and security, and for connecting with people who foster a sense of trust for us. And so this is also a time when that Uranus-Pluto square is going to be engaged. And so this is for our cardinal signs in particular, our Aries, Cancers, Libras, and Capricorns. This is a time when you might not necessarily feel really comfortable. There's a lot of dynamic tension present that's kind of pushing you into releasing yourself from anything that's outdated, any job, any relationship, any system that you're in that is holding you back or creating restraint in your life or limitation in your life. The tension of that mounts and builds to the point where you want to do something, you want to act. That's cardinal energy. It's action-oriented energy. And so take one step at a time. Trust your intuition. Try to refrain from doing something impulsive. On Thursday, the sun moves into Pisces late in the evening, and we're all going to be moving toward that period in our annual cycle where we take innovative thinking into the creative realm. And so we act on some of the ideas that have come down to us, some of those aha moments and discoveries that we've realized. This is a time of creating something new and putting them into motion. And so often, like I say a lot on the show, the dreams that we have precede the reality that's unfolding and manifesting in our lives. And so when the sun's in Pisces, we do a lot of kind of flowing with that energy, whatever seeds we planted during the previous 2 months. So that is our Starstruck segment. We are going to take a really short break and listen to a very fun song that my spirit guides gave me this song for everybody yesterday when I was planning the show. It's really fun. It's the Monkees' "I'm a Believer," and I was like, I was trying to access like what song epitomizes love, and for us all collectively, for everyone listening today. And this is the song that was downloaded for me, and so I hope it has resonance for you, and I hope it sparks something open. So we'll take a really short song break, a musical interlude, and when we come back, we'll talk about love and compatibility and the astrology of love. Stay tuned. Woo! All right, hello. I'm just saying hi to everyone in the chat, and sending my love out to everyone. Okay, so this is a little piece of Rachel history, of trivia. When I was a kid, my brother and sister and I used to watch the Monkees, the TV show, on reruns. And Peter York, I can't remember anyway, Peter was my favorite monkey. Like, of everyone, like Mickey or whoever, Davy Jones, and Peter was my favorite. And I discovered that Peter is an Aquarius. And so I was like, well, it fits in, because I like to play Aquarius musicians. Anyway, it's a fun song. I like it. It was great.
Peter Tork.
Tork. That's what it is. I always want to call him Peter York, but I realize that every time it doesn't feel right. So Peter. Peter was my favorite. So anyway, so that's funny. So I'm a believer, believing in love. Mm-hmm. So welcome back. In this segment of our show, we're going to talk about love and astrology and how astrology can help your love life. And in this segment, I really want to address some of the frequently asked questions that I receive in sessions, or I receive when I tell someone I'm an astrologer. And those questions are, what sign am I most compatible with, and how do I tell? How do you tell when the time is right for a new relationship? And how can I tell if my partner is the one, is my person? And so we're going to address as many of these as we can and talk about them in the short time that we have left. If you have questions, feel free to send them into our chat. If you have things that you thanks, Robin. Robin says, I really like your shirt. I'm wearing red for Valentine's Day.
Yes, she is.
So if you have questions, please feel free to chat them to me. So let's start with compatibility. Now, if you've ever wondered why some people you just connect with, you just relate to instantly, and some people you immediately feel like a little bit of like you feel repelled and you feel kind of pushed back, there are specific factors in compatibility charts that offer us clues. So let me explain to you how this works and why this works. And I'm sure for many of you, even if you just know your sun sign, you might have read that your sign is compatible with certain other ones and incompatible with others. And we're gonna kind of open that up a little bit because I have a different opinion about that. But the way that it works is that there are 360 degrees in a circle, and each sign has specific degrees of that circle. And so every single moment of the year and of the day, the sun is going to be in a specific degree and a specific minute in the heavens. And so each one of those degrees has a certain frequency, just like a musical chord. So, if you're looking at a piano, for example, and you see the note of C the note of C on the keyboard, that when you press down that key, that specific note plays. Your sun sign is very similar. You have a specific vibration, a specific frequency that you play. And just like when you play two notes on a keyboard, two notes can form consonance or dissonance, and likewise, 2 degrees of any particular sign, any planet, but also like we're focusing on the sun sign right now. 2 degrees of the sun can when they're put together, they create consonance or dissonance. They either vibrate really happily and they sound really good, or there's a little bit of a tension that's present there. And so likewise, there are some people that you meet and there's like an instant like a dissonance, like you form a minor chord, and there are some people that you meet and it's just really peaceful and it feels like a major chord. And so how can you know if you're compatible, and how can you tell? So for many of you, and also I want to just take one, also using this analogy as well. There are some signs and some charts and some people who are going to get really bored with, always the happy music, And there are some people, some signs and some individuals who really like a little bit of healthy tension, and that feels more comfortable for you. And a lot of this is based on your chart, number one, your family of origin, the cultural context within which you are living, the historical context as well. And so for some of you, being with someone who has a tremendous amount of compatibility might not feel really comfortable. You might like or gravitate toward the tension. And so part of understanding compatibility is understanding that need as well, understanding what makes you, what fires you up, what inspires you. And in all relationships, we are going to have a little bit of tension. We're going to have areas that are where 2 points in our chart are forming dissonance. And those are the areas that allow us to grow personally and grow spiritually. So, so starting with the sun sign, we look at, because that's one thing that we all know. We look at harmonious relationships. And for each of you, your sun signs have a triplicity, or an element, and a quality or a quadruplicity. And the idea is that like elements attract like elements. Our elements, our triplicities, are earth, air, fire, and water. And each one of these triplicities has different needs that are represented. So let's start with fire. Fire are our Aries, our Leos, and our Sagittarians. And for you fire signs, there's a need to be active and to have a lot of maybe even impulse. You like to move. You don't necessarily like to be, one of your primary focuses is on actually making, on taking action. So for some of you, like for Leos in particular, as fixed signs, the action's a little bit slower, but you're always thinking about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do next? Earth signs, your focus is on practicality. What do you need on a practical level? Stability, structure. Our earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Air signs are more cerebral, and so your focus is the mental. And our air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And our water signs are emotional. That's your center of focus. And our water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And so anytime you're relating to a sun sign that is a like energy, another fire sign, and fire signs and air signs are pretty compatible, because if you think about it, air feeds fire and vice versa. Earth and water signs are very compatible. They're resonant, and so like energies attract like energies. Now these signs are broken down further into cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And cardinal signs are again about movement, about initiating. Taking action. They tend to be a little bit more outgoing. Our cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Our fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And fixed signs like to keep things where they are and build from the point at which they're in. They're fixers. they tend to get in and look at the problems and root them out. And I see a question in the chat room, but we'll just finish this. Mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And mutable signs they can change their minds pretty easily. They're pretty flexible, and they tend to be kind of ready for the next move forward. And let's see here. Billy in the chat says, "Hi, what do you think about online dating? I've always wondered if looking for romantic love is a bad thing, if we should just let it come, or if we should pursue it." And actually, here's what I think. If we look at the principle of like attracts like, anytime you are opening yourself up to love, you're essentially saying to the universe, I'm ready for love to be available in my life. Now, I'm gonna respond to this a little personally, because I feel like online dating can be one of those opportunities for you to communicate to the universe, I'm ready, I want this, because it's like basically going into the ocean where there are lots of fish and maybe even some sharks, and you're opening yourself up. But in the process of doing that, I feel like there's an opportunity for you on a spiritual and emotional level to expand your circle, to broaden your horizons. And there's a little bit of hope along with that you can really attract into your life someone who's going to be a good match. And so I actually am a big proponent of it. I think it is one of those things that I recommend to my clients quite often, and one of those things that I think can be really beautiful for you. The challenge is that often people go from opening and getting excited to dates not working out, there being disappointment. And so we don't want to go into the possibility disappointment cycle. That's like a cycle that is a dead end. What we want to do is go into, think about yourself swimming, think about swimming in the ocean, and you come up and you meet someone, and if it doesn't work out, it's like, oh, that was a beautiful experience. And look for the gift in that, and then move into move on, swim forward. But yeah, I think it's kind of the way things happen right now. John's putting hearts up in the background. I love it. I love it. John's having fun with the green screen. Now, in terms of other factors in compatibility, I have a list of questions that I look for whenever I look at compatibility. So you take the sun sign, that's one element. Then you take the chart as a whole. And for some of you, you can go to astro.com. You can get your chart pulled up. You can reach out to me. I can pull up charts for you. What you want to look for is, number one, what are the influences within the natal chart that signify whether or not someone is like, what are their challenges in terms of relationships? Do they want a relationship? What kind of relationship do they want? Because I think, we have this constructed idea that love has to look a certain way, and that we have one person that we're supposed to spend our lives with, and I think we've begun to, and we have been kind of reforming and reshaping our construct of what relationships and what love are. And those constructs are really based on ideas that have been inherited by us from past generations, from our religion, from our culture, from our family of origin, and from kind of what ideas are out there in our collective unconscious. So when you look at an individual chart and you take that chart in its historical, cultural context, then what you see are tendencies. Does someone need freedom? Does someone need commitment? Does someone commit immediately and then stay? Does someone have illusions? And so first of all, look at individual charts. Then you take your individuals and you put them together. And there are two ways to put them together: through synastry, which means you're comparing points in a chart, and through a composite, which means you're taking the midpoint of a chart and showing what the relationship itself has to offer. And so what you want to look at is the 7th house cusp, which shows your personal relationship tendencies, and in the composite chart, it shows, what is the nature of your relationship. Then you look at, at the planetary 7th house ruler. So if for example, if your 7th house ruler is Scorpio, like yours is, John, and mine is too, then Pluto is the modern ruler and Mars is the traditional ruler. And so you want to look at that planet and see what clues can that planet in the chart give about the way that this person expresses themselves in relationships. Then you also find out what the moon sign is. So moon sign is our emotional center. It's what makes us feel safe and secure, and also what makes us feel at home. And so when you have two like moon signs, there's a deep sense of there can be a very deep sense of family, a deep sense of emotional connection. It also shows your emotional needs in a relationship. And if you have a moon in Scorpio with the need for passion and intensity, and a moon in, let's say, Aquarius, which can be very emotionally detached, then you have to work through some of those challenges that are inherent in your compatibility charts. Then you ask, what is your sun sign? And you look at the sun sign house and placement and sign placement, and see if there's compatibility there. Then next, look at Mars and Venus. There have to be at least one of those really engaged by some kind of a contact. Especially Mars, that's a sex planet. And Venus is attraction. What do you like? What are you attracted to? What kinds of things do you enjoy doing together? So you compare and contrast those influences. And I think, ultimately what I believe is that you can take two charts and you can put them together and see what challenges and strengths the relationship have. I don't think there are any deal breakers per se, because all relationships give us the opportunity to grow and to open our hearts. And when we open our hearts, we are connecting to the nature of our divinity, and we're connecting to love in a very profound and powerful way. And so as you move into this Valentine's Day weekend, and as you start thinking about love in your life, I think it's going to be important to really hold the space for all the complexity of love, and to really engage with your in a dialogue with yourself about what it is that you need, what it is that you want, because you can look at a chart a million times and the chart can show you symbols, but you are a person. You are the spirit that animates that chart, and that makes the potentiality come to life. And so by going in and determining what it is that you want, what it is that you're looking for, what you have to offer to a relationship, you're opening yourself up to creative possibilities. Possibilities to make the relationship that you're in even better, or possibilities to attract something really powerful and dynamic and loving into your life. Oh, and I forgot to mention one other thing about compatibility. Along with my list, Mercury is communication. So if you're having relationship challenges or having communication challenges, then you want to look at Mercury. So I forgot to I wanted to just come back to that and circle back around. John's giving me a nod. Do you have something, John? Do you have something to share?
No, it's just funny. You Mercury meaning communication, and just.
I know, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's not important in a relationship. yeah. So and when you look at your chart, you can look at astrologically too transits and progressions and ways that we move our chart forward or advance our chart also indicate times in our life when we're experiencing challenges in love, or times when you're meeting that special someone, when a soulmate is entering your life or a twin flame is entering your life. So astrology can also help you facilitate that process and to determine whether or not you need to leave an existing relationship and if it's time. And there are certain factors, particularly wherever Saturn is transiting, wherever the outer planets are transiting in relation to your seventh house, your fifth house, which can be an affair, your Venus, your Moon, your Sun, wherever those outer planets are influencing you, that can show an indication of when something's changing for you in your love life, for the better or for the worse. So astrology really does help you to navigate the somewhat torrential, downpours of relationships, the turbulence, and also the beauty and the real gift that love and relationships are in your life. That is our show. I think I got all those questions. I think I got them all. So we're going to be back next week with a very special guest. Susan Mecca is going to be with us, and she is Dr. Susan Mecca. She's going to talk about how to survive cancer and survive the loss of loved ones through cancer, which we've seen a lot at the beginning of this year. And since we are in a 9-year where things are ending, we're going to talk to her. She'll be back with us by Skype. She won't be in studio. And then today, if you're hanging around and you're on UBN Radio at 6 p.m., I will be a guest on Shar Vision with Shar Margolis. And so we're going to be talking about soulmates and love on her show. So that's at 6 this afternoon. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I wish everyone a very love-filled, beautiful, generous and compassionate Valentine's Day. Offer compassion for yourself and compassion for others. Love yourself and love others, and open yourself to receiving love from the divine, because ultimately anytime we love one another, we are engaged in love of all there is. So have a very happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, John.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And thank you to my creative team, my amazing creative team. And we will be back next week.
Yeah.